Why social media financial advice often fails in the real world. You know what's hilarious? Every financial guru on social media tells you to just invest $500 a month like it's pocket change. Meanwhile, 63% of Americans can't cover a $500 emergency expense. So who exactly are they talking to? Look, I'm not here to sell you a course. I'm not going to tell you that passive income is easy or that you can retire by 30 if you just hustle harder. I'm here to tell you why most of the financial advice you're seeing on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube is about as useful as a chocolate teapot in your actual, real-world life. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Financial advice that works in a perfectly optimized spreadsheet doesn't always work when your car breaks down, your kid needs braces, and your rent just went up by $200. So stick around, because we're about to dismantle some of the most popular financial myths that are probably making you feel worse about your money situation, not better. 1. The context problem. Let's start with the biggest issue, context, or rather, the complete lack of it. When someone tells you they built a $1 million portfolio by 35, what they're not telling you is that they started with a $200,000 inheritance, had no student loans because their parents paid for college, and landed a six-figure tech job straight out of school. But sure, it wasn't definitely the side hustle selling digital planners on Etsy that got them there. Social media financial advice suffers from what I call survivorship bias on steroids. You only see the people who succeeded using a particular strategy. You don't see the thousands who tried the exact same thing and failed. It's like getting weight loss advice from someone with a naturally fast metabolism who tells you to just eat intuitively, while you're over here gaining weight from looking at a donut. Here's what you need to understand right now. Financial advice without context is like a recipe without measurements. You can follow the steps, but you have no idea if you're supposed to add a teaspoon or a tablespoon of salt until you've already ruined dinner. The person telling you to max out your 401k might be making $150,000 a year. You might be making $45,000. That's not the same recipe. That's not even the same kitchen. If you're already feeling this, drop a comment below with the word context matters, because I want to be sure I'm not the only one who is tired of one-size-fits-all advice that fits basically no one. 2. The income illusion. Here's an uncomfortable truth that nobody wants to say out loud. You cannot budget your way out of a low-income problem. I know. Dave Ramsey is somewhere clutching his pearls right now. But it's true. Social media loves to push the narrative that if you're struggling financially, it's because you're buying too many lattes, or you're not budgeting hard enough, or you lack discipline. And while sure, budgeting helps, let's do some actual math here. The average latte costs about $5. If you buy one every single day, that's $150 a month, or $1,800 a year. Sounds like a lot, right? But the median rent for a one-bedroom apartment in the US is around $1,500 a month. So cutting out your daily latte gets you 3% of 1 month's rent. Congratulations, you've solved poverty. The financial advice industry loves to focus on personal responsibility because it sells. It makes people feel like they're in control. But here's what they're not telling you. Wages have been stagnant for decades while the cost of housing, healthcare, and education has skyrocketed. This isn't a personal failure problem. This is a systemic problem dressed up as a personal problem. And before anyone comes at me in the comments saying, but compound interest this and that. Yes, I know how compound interest works. But compound interest requires you to have money to invest in the first place. You can't invest what you don't have. Sometimes you don't need better financial advice. You need a better paying job. You need affordable healthcare. You need childcare that doesn't cost more than your mortgage. But that's not sexy content. That doesn't fit in a 60-second TikTok. So instead, we get told to cut our Netflix subscription. Hit that like button if you're tired of being told that your financial problems are all about personal discipline when the system is fundamentally broken. 3. The timing trap. Let's talk about timing, because this is where social media financial advice really falls apart. Let's say, I bought 3 rental properties before I turned 30. Okay, cool. What year? Because if you bought property in 2010 after the housing crash, that's very different from trying to buy property in 2026 at the peak of the market. Timing matters. The economic environment matters. Interest rates matter. I see so much advice from people who made money in real estate during a very specific time period, and they're out here acting like their strategy is universally applicable. It's not. The person who tells you, just house hack and rent out rooms, might have bought their first property when a down payment was $20,000. Now that same property requires a $100,000 down payment. Different game entirely. The stock market advice is even worse. I'm up 300% in 5 years. Yeah, you invested during one of the longest bull runs in history. My houseplant could have picked stocks and made money between 2019 and 2021. That doesn't make you Warren Buffett. Here's the reality check nobody wants to give you. A lot of financial success stories on social media are just people who had good timing and confused it with genius. And now they're selling courses on their proven system that only worked because of conditions that no longer exist. It's like someone winning the lottery and then selling a course on their number selection strategy. The strategy didn't work. You got lucky, and that's okay. But don't package luck as replicable wisdom. Subscribe if you want more of this kind of reality check content, because we're not here to sell you dreams. We're here to talk about what actually works. 4. The complexity crisis. You know what social media financial advice loves? Simplicity. Quick tips. Life hacks. 3 steps to wealth. 5 ways to save money. You know what real financial situations are. Complicated as hell. Just invest in index funds. Okay, but I have $50,000 in student loans at 7% interest. Should I pay that off first or invest? It depends. Oh, so not actually simple then. Start a business. Cool, but I have 2 kids. I'm the sole income for my family, and I have no safety net. The risk calculation for me is very different than for a 23-year-old living with their parents. Move somewhere cheaper. I have aging parents I need to care for. My industry only exists in high cost of living cities, and my kid is thriving in their current school. But sure, let me just uproot my entire life to save $400 a month. Real financial decisions involve trade-offs, personal values, risk tolerance, family obligations, health issues, career trajectory, and about 100 other variables that don't fit in a snappy Instagram carousel. Want to know the uncomfortable truth? Good financial advice often comes after 20 minutes of questions about your specific situation. That doesn't go viral. That doesn't get shares. Instead, we get oversimplified advice that treats everyone like they're starting from the same place with the same goals and the same constraints. If you appreciate this nuanced approach to money talk, hit that notification bell, because we're diving deep, not staying surface level. 5. The privilege blind spot. Here's the thing that really grinds my gears. Most popular financial advice comes from people who have never experienced real financial precarity. And you can tell. They'll say things like, just keep 6 months of expenses in your emergency fund, without acknowledging that for many people, saving even 1 month of expenses feels impossible. They'll talk about investing in yourself through courses and certifications without considering that some people are one missed paycheck away from eviction. There's this assumption baked into so much financial content that everyone has the same baseline stability, that everyone has parents they could move in with if things go south, that everyone has a partner with income, that everyone has good health and no chronic conditions, that everyone has reliable transportation, that everyone can work a side hustle on top of their full-time job without burning out. The reality? Financial advice from someone who's never been poor is like swimming advice from someone who's never left the shallow end. Technically correct, maybe, but utterly useless when you're in the deep water trying not to drown. I see advice about investing in quality items and spending more upfront to save money long-term, and it completely ignores that this requires having money upfront in the first place. The Boots theory of economics is real. Being poor is expensive. You can't afford the good shoes that last 10 years, so you buy cheap shoes every year and end up spending more. But nobody on social media wants to talk about that because it doesn't empower you. It doesn't make you feel like you're in control. Comment, privilege check. If you've ever rolled your eyes at financial advice that clearly came from someone who's never had to choose between groceries and rent. 6. The reality we need. So what's the alternative? If social media financial advice is this flawed, what should we do instead? First, we need to get comfortable with the fact that good financial advice is boring. It's not sexy. It's not going to transform your life in 30 days. Real financial progress is slow, incremental, and looks different for everyone. Second, we need to stop treating financial struggle as a moral failing. You're not bad with money because you can't save. You might just be underpaid. You're not irresponsible because you have debt. You might have gotten sick, or had family emergencies, or lived through a pandemic that destroyed your industry. Third, We need advice that acknowledges reality. Yes, investing is important. But if you're in survival mode, survival is your priority. Build stability first, then build wealth. There's no shame in that timeline. And finally, we need to stop comparing ourselves to highlight reels. That person with the perfect budget and the growing investment portfolio. You don't know their full story. You don't know what they started with, what support they have, what their income is, what they're not telling you. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to be better than you were yesterday, working with what you actually have, not what some influencer says you should have. Look, I'm not saying all financial advice on social media is bad. I'm saying most of it is incomplete, decontextualized, and designed more for engagement than for actual help. The uncomfortable truth is that fixing your financial situation probably won't happen because of one viral tip. It'll happen through boring, consistent actions taken over years. It'll happen by increasing your income more than by cutting your expenses. It'll happen by building systems that work for your actual life, not someone else's idealized version. So the next time you see a get-rich scheme or a simple money hack, ask yourself, who is this advice for? What are they not telling me? What worked for them that might not work for me? Because real financial wisdom isn't about following someone else's blueprint. It's about understanding your situation well enough to build your own. If this video gave you a different perspective on money advice, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who needs to hear this reality check. Subscribe for more uncomfortable truths about personal finance, because we're just getting started. And remember, you're not failing at money. The system is failing you, and the advice industry is profiting off your confusion. I'll see you in the next one.